beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode of WTF What's the Frequency with me, Vanessa Alston. I'm a quantum healer, and this show is all about finding ways to resonate with the frequencies of the cosmos, to engage with them, and to help you find out how to utilize them to create your destiny, to facilitate your desires, whatever they may be. Whether they're an ambition of work, whether they're the ambition to have a beautiful relationship, whatever it is that you really, really desire, that you'd love to be, that you'd love to experience. And this show is really about conversations where people are going to tell us how they engage with those frequencies, how they resonated with them, and how they help them create their future. And the other thing I wanted to answer was what I do. A lot of people have said to me, what is a quantum healer? What do you do? So I mainly deal with people that are suffering from anxiety and depression, overwhelm and burnout. And what I'm able to do with my unique healing method is to look at their energy field and to see where they've got blocks and restrictions, they're holding them back, bundles of negative energy that are trapped in their bodies, very often showing up as physical ailments. Might be irritable bowel syndrome, might be terrible headaches, might be terrible fatigue, might be great irritation. It can take on any manner of forms, but all of it is really negative, and it's negative energy. And the thing about negative energy is it really does weigh you down. It will define how you think about things. It will influence your emotions, and it will keep you stuck in a really negative cycle. There's a reason why people say that person's got the weight of the world on their shoulders, and it's because they're weighed down by negative, heavy energy. And they might be in a particular mode, like victim mode. Why does it always happen to me? Why doesn't it happen to anybody else? Nobody's got it as bad as me. Sound familiar? Or they might just be withdrawing from life completely, making themselves an island, refusing social invitations, not doing anything but working. Or, worse than that, unable to work, just retreated from life and not doing anything at all. So what I'm able to do is remove the negative energy really easily with my unique method. And once I've done that, it leaves space for vital force energy to come in and light up their life so that they feel calmer, lighter, and more optimistic. And once you let vital force energy into your life, you're able to feel more positive about the future. You're able to feel more optimistic, and you're able to imagine amazing outcomes. Because the trouble is, when you're trapped in anxiety and depression, overwhelm or burnout, you're stuck and you're only imagining terrible outcomes. And because you're constantly in a state of fight or flight. Now, here's the wake-up call. You're not about to be eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. Although we're programmed to use anxiety to protect ourselves, there's very little in this world that actually is going to stop you breathing or end, your time in this mortal realm. So what we need to do is get over that fear. And once we get rid of negative energy and negative frequencies that are affecting us, fear doesn't really come into play so much because excitement takes over. Because really, we're being very grateful about what we haven't experienced yet. And we're imagining it and feeling it. Now, here's another thing. The mind doesn't know the difference between truth and lies. So if you're always imagining you, for instance, being a media mogul or an Instagram influencer with millions of followers, then guess what? While you're asleep, while you're only using 10% of your brain, your mind is thinking of ways that it can attract those things into your life. It can send out a frequency to other people, a broadcast message, if you like, that you are looking for a particular opportunity. And if you continue doing it enough, then that opportunity will most definitely show up. And if you wait to the end of this episode, I'm going to give you a few tips on how to really get manifesting and be able to create your destiny with ease. But before I do that, I have got an absolutely amazing guest who has harnessed all the powers of the universe to catapult himself, quite frankly, from nowhere into being a major influencer across all platforms, a media mogul, and an internet guru. So please join me in welcoming Stack Pack to WTF What's the Frequency? So please join me in welcoming the amazing Stack Pack to WTF What's the Frequency? Hello, Stack Pack.
Hey, thank you for having me here, Vanessa. It's a pleasure to be on air with you. I love the show. I've been watching it every week. Thank you for providing the value, and then finally having me up here. I appreciate you. Let's go.
Well, I appreciate you, Stack Pack, because I know how busy you are and I know how every minute counts in your day. So thank you so much for joining us today. So I'm just going to jump straight in because there's so many things that I want to ask you. So everybody wants to know, you're a media mogul now, but what did you do before?
Oh my God. So I was actually making beats. So I was making beats online. So I was go ahead and producing for people. I was sending them beats all over the place. So I was actually a music producer, Vanessa. I was in the studio every day, rapping, trying to become the next big mogul in rap. So I was rapping and making beats and making instrumentals and trying to make the next connection doing that. So it was really the beats, the instrumentals, and rap crews, and trying to see where we can go all together. So before being a media mogul, I was actually in the music scene.
I love that because I'm a huge fan of rap. Well, old school rap anyway. But just for the viewers, how difficult is it to rap? Because I've tried and I'm hopeless.
It's all
Don't
up to
ask me
what
to
you
do it on the
grow up to.
karaoke.
It's what you grow up to. If you listen, if you're surrounded by a certain type of music, you're gonna rap like those people, or you're gonna know how to rap like those people. Like all the people that's listening to new rap right now, you guys know how to rap like the new people right now. And then there's people that's listening to the old school rap that's stuck back then, and they are sounding like that if they make music. So it's just all up to what you're comfortable with. I feel like you are who you surround yourself with. If you're
Well,
surrounding yourself with people that are making music like that, you're going to make music like that. But if you're not, then you're not going to have any music like that.
no, I like that. And something you said just there, surrounding yourself by the right people on the right vibration.
Got to be on
So
the right frequency, Vanessa. We on the frequency.
that's the one. That's the one, the frequency of success. So I want to ask you, what and how did you make the leap? Because you're there making break beats, you're sending them off to people, advertising agencies. What happened? What was the catapult moment that pushed
I
you?
I just decided that I was tired of being mediocre. People settle with being mediocre, and that's something that I don't settle with. So when I found that chance to leap, or that chance to get to the next level, I took the advantage. I didn't want to just stay mediocre. Everybody went that way and I went this way. So there's two different paths in life. Either you can take, the path everybody else goes, or you can make your own path. So I decided to make my own path on my journey.
I like that. I like that. And what really interests me about that is, very often in order to do that, you have to turn away from your friends, don't you? You have to not go
Yes,
out and
yes.
focus on the stuff that you're doing.
I had to
And
turn up
also,
on a lot of friends, Vanessa. I had to get rid of a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? They all had to go.
I like that. And there's the famous stack pack sound. But the other thing I wanted to just talk about was your lack of fear, because a lot of people get offered opportunities, don't they? But fear, takes them over. I'm not worthy. I don't come from the right place. I don't look right. Don't earn enough money. Talk to me about the fears that you've had to face as things have come up in your
So
rise to
so my
success.
fears were not having enough resources, or not having enough tools for me to use. I wanted enough tools to get myself to the next level. When I was at a certain level, there wasn't enough tools. So my fear when I was first coming up was, where's the next tools going to come from? You know what I'm saying? Or where am I going to get the next, acceleration from? But now I have an abundance mindset, and now everything comes out of the sky, whether it's podcasting, media, a connection that I've been looking for, right? It doesn't matter. It'll come out the sky as long as you place yourself in the right place. So that's what I had to do, Vanessa. You know what I'm saying? That's what I had to do. That's what Stack Pack had to do. That's what everybody listening on E360's gonna have to do on the WTF show. Let's go.
I like that. I like that because it is about no fear and it is about just doing it. When I first started doing this podcast show, I was, quite frankly, a bit terrified, but now I really enjoy it. It's just like having a chat with really good friends. So I just want to wind back a bit and talk about that positive mindset because it's so easy to think that everything, excuse the pun, is stacked against you. Whereas you very much think that everything's stacked in your favor. You have an expectation, or would it be right to say that you have an expectation that everything's going to work out?
Yeah, so I always had that belief, though. I remember in high school, Vanessa, a lot of people used to say, he think he's this, or he think he's that. But I always had to place myself in that belief mindset. Like, I am this and I am that, and it's done. Like, it has to be done. It's already have to be completed. You have to believe in your mind that it's already done. Once you place your mindset on it's done, then it's done. So I've always felt like, I was going to be a big music producer, or I was going to be this huge mogul. I already felt that. I already knew. I said it's done. And look at it. It's done. It's already done. So you speak that into existence as you're doing your journey, and it's done. So I feel like the more consistent I am, the more it's done. I don't have to really stress it like, okay, maybe it's done, maybe it might be done. No, guys, it's already done. It's done.
I absolutely love what you're saying because that's the way it works, isn't it? So, how did you get switched on to that mindset? Because you say you were at school. I can remember being at school thinking, I'm going to be a world class gymnast. It didn't happen. But, I really enjoyed the process of trying to be. But, you were walking around school from what age thinking, I'm just a superstar?
I ain't gonna lie, it started in like, where was it at? Middle school. It was like middle school. I ain't gonna lie with you. It started in middle school. That's when I really started to get into the fashion and wanted to, dress and really get into the lanes because, when you dress the part, you got to look the part, you got to show up. If you want to be somebody, you got to look like, somebody. So I remember really getting into the fashion around middle school. And then, of course, it got bigger in high school when I started, linking up with my cousins and different people in different schools. And, it just, it was like a domino effect. You know what I'm saying? Like you see someone else doing it, then you want to do it, and then it'll influence someone else to do it. So it was like a
And
domino
who
effect for me.
who was influencing you? Because I was speaking to Ihani Black Liquid the other day about DJing and raving, and he was saying that he met Grandmaster Flash, and it was like
Wow.
his total inspiration. To watch that guy mix. Who influenced you? Who did you look up to that you thought that you wanted to be like?
I ain't gonna lie with you, Vanessa. My mom was always doing music. She'd been in the music game for a while. So my mom was always, rapping. My mom and my dad, they was already, rapping. And, when I seen them, they used to go to studios out here in Boston. They used to go to a lot of different studios. And I used to get inspired to make my own music and to actually make beats. So when I used to go to these studios, I always knew in my head I was going to have my own studio or make some type of beats for somebody or make my own records or distribute. I always knew that it was going to have to do something with music because that's where my family came from. It was from music. So
So
everything
you
always
were
been about music.
Yeah, you were very clear about what your path was really early on and what your purpose was. So that was always your mindset. And was that quite a regular thing? Because when I'm trying to manifest something, I just think about it over and over again. What's the ultimate outcome that I want, and how much am I going to enjoy that? Is that what you sort of do as well?
I do that all the time. I always think about it over and over. It's something that has to be a repeated thing in your mind. If you're going to want to get something, you want to get after something, it has to be a repeated thought in your mind. Let me say that again, Vanessa. It has to be a repeated thought in your mind. It has to repeat, like it always has to go like when you wake up, when you go to sleep, you have to write it down in a journal. It has to be some type of sort of affirmation for you to get there. So yes, anything I did, Vanessa, has always been something that I repeated or, said over or said an affirmation or spoke into existence.
I like that a lot. And, we're talking about the I am presence, aren't we? So we're talking about waking up and saying, I am a media mogul, waking up and saying, I am an influencer with multi-million followers, and then it just seems to be, doesn't it, that you've engaged with the right frequency to bring that serendipity to your door. So just on that for a moment, what was your first big break? What was the first thing that you just thought, oh my God, I can't believe that's happened. I'm so blessed.
The first big break for me was getting on Clubhouse and getting signed to a label. Once I got signed to the label, I was able to distribute the beats all over the place that I've been making for years. So when I got the distribution deal, I was able to put the beats out on all platforms, so that way more people can enjoy it. Because when you're in, an environment where you only see, the four corners or the four walls, and you only local, getting a distribution deal is major from where I'm from. Now I got a distribution deal from a label. Now I'm able to distribute on all platforms, Instagram, TikTok included, right? So my
Wow.
music is everywhere. So if you guys go to Instagram and you try to add music to your story and you type in Stack Pack, my beats will pop up and you can use them on your stories. So it's been like that for years. So that was a part of the distribution deal, and I couldn't believe that, distributing music and releasing, Stack Pack Volume 1, 2, and 3. I was able to be, on Instagram stories and be in Facebook stories and stuff like that. You guys can search my music on Triller and TikTok and stuff like that, which is pretty cool because you have to have a distribution deal to do stuff like that. So that was one of the real breaking moments for me. There's plenty of more stuff that happened after that, but that was one of the real breaking moments for me. Like, damn, okay, this is real. We can do this, and we can go on all platforms and break out to another level.
Wow. I mean, that is incredible, isn't it? And for anybody watching that hasn't been on Clubhouse, I mean, I've met some amazing people that have become great friends of mine. You and I have become friends, most, probably unlikely couple on either side of the pond. And, the thing about Clubhouse is because you don't see people, you hear their words, don't you? You hear their resonance, and you can tell whether they're a decent sort or not, whether they're being authentic or whether they're just sort of saying what people want to, hear, or they think people want to hear. Talk to me about your personal brand and your real adherence to authenticity, because you really don't cut it for anyone, do you really?
I'm always authentic, Vanessa. Anything that I do, I gotta stay authentic. There's nothing that I'm doing right now, and it's like it gotta be official. You know what I'm saying, Vanessa? Like I gotta come for a place where I'm always showing up for myself, but I also gotta show up for others. It's not just me at this point. I gotta show up for other people. So I gotta put the good energy out there where I'm showing up for me and others, because there's other people counting on me. So I feel like it's bigger than just my brand. Yeah, my brand's always going to thrive. The marketing, the media, the billboards, right? Everybody's always going to need this type of stuff. And that's the type of stuff I was able to acquire from being, a value, being consistent, getting the, having access to these things, social media growth, stuff like that, right? These are things that people are going to need across the, I'm going to do it. I'm going to show up and I'm going to show up for myself.
There, Stack. So you popped off the screen. So we're going to have to do that bit again. So I asked you how, so I'll do it again. So Stack Pack, authenticity is part of your personal brand. Talk to our viewers about how important it is to stay authentic, even when you're getting put in situations where you could get a bit la-di-da, really.
I think you should stay consistent because it'll tell a lot about your character. Like if you stay consistent and stay on it, it'll show people that you're serious versus the others that aren't. So if you're staying more consistent than other people, then you'll get that opportunity. It's like being in a race, right? Like the person that's got the most energy and the most endurance is going to win it. So I feel like the same thing in business and being authentic. The most authentic people are going to win. I mean, the more really you are, the more opportunities that happen for you in your life. So that's how I feel about that.
I like that. And I also like the fact that you said it's not just about me, it's about serving others, because quite a few people that I've interviewed to date always talk about the benefits of serving others, of making sure that a deal is good for everybody and not just yourself. Talk to me about your business principles.
I like to be fair. I feel like everyone should get a fair shot. It doesn't matter what level you're on, right? Vanessa, it doesn't matter if you're just starting on social media. It doesn't matter if you're just starting on a magazine. I got options for everyone. So my business model is, it doesn't matter where you're starting. We can help. I don't shy away from people from where they're starting. You got companies out here that not even working with you unless you got something going on. But guess what? Everybody has to start from zero. You got to start from somewhere. So as long as you starting from somewhere, that's my business model. I can help you. As long as I see you trying to help yourself, then my team's going to help you. Let's go.
And just to emphasize this, and I don't really want to embarrass you, but I just want to share with people what a good egg you are, really. Because I was on one of your clubhouse rooms recently, and you were talking to a guy who was actually living in his car. And he's been a sort of regular supporter of you, hadn't he? Do you want to tell everybody what you did for him? Because that was really amazing. I know you're really shy about these things.
That was cool. The dude that was living in his car, he came to the clubhouse. And I gave him a magazine feature, so I had already sent him the questions. All he got to do is get it back to the staff so we can go ahead and get it published. But I remember that day, I didn't want nobody to be, left on the streets, left alone. You know what I'm saying? I know what it feels like. I know what it's like. I got people that, been through that. So I didn't want him to, go through that or be, in that type of mind state. So it was good that I, reached out and still gave him the magazine feature, even though he didn't have enough to pay from anything else in the company. The least we can do is get back a magazine feature for him to get noticed for something else.
And what's happened to him since? He's had quite a few opportunities come up, hasn't he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, but the magazine feature hasn't been published. We're still waiting for him to get it back. So the staff looks at all the emails. As soon as he gets the email back to us, it'll be published. But yeah, I got his number. He can call me anytime, text me, and we can go ahead and get that published whenever he gets it back to us. Let's go.
Oh, that is so beautiful. And it is about giving everybody an equal chance, isn't it? Giving everyone a foot up. And, particularly when somebody is in that situation, because I was thinking, but for the grace of God, there go I. So I hope I didn't embarrass you talking about that, but I just want to show everybody, the sort of honesty that's discussed on Clubhouse and what you actually do about it, which is fantastic. So you got your first break, you got your distribution deal. What happened next? How did you've obviously been learning all these tools about the internet, how to mash it up for everybody and share that knowledge with people. But what happened next? Because you went from that deal to what?
After that, I got teamed up with Sweetwater Sound. It's a mega store. You can shop your instrumentals. You can shop your instruments, guitars, basically all your studio gear. I teamed up with them on Instagram, and we got a huge partnership where I can make money through Sweetwater Sound. Sweetwater Sound is one of the biggest music stores that's been around, along with Daddy's Junkies and Guitar Center and stuff like that. Sweetwater Sound is one of the biggest online music stores ever, and they've been around for years. And I'm actually teamed up with them, and I have my own links to certain products that I can get people discounts on and make money on the back end.
I really like this, and I want everybody to just stay with us because we're having a fascinating conversation here with StackPack, and we're just going to take a quick break and a quick advert from our sponsors, My Lifespring. So please stay with us.
Ignite your vitality. Meet the Lifespring Gold Card, a quantum leap in wellness. Revitalize your bioenergy, boost stamina, ease aches and improve your mental focus. Shield yourself from electromagnetic frequencies emitted from cell phones, laptops and other smart technologies. Restructure tap water, revitalize food and harmonize everything around you. Elevate well-being with LifeSpring made in the USA. Order today from VanessaElston.com.
Thank you so much for staying with us. I'm here with the amazing Stack Pack, media mogul, influencer, and all-round, superstar, really. So we're having a really interesting conversation about what it takes to really change up your life, to really decide on what it is you want to do and just go for it. So, Stack, I want to talk to you about how you just go for things. We've been talking about manifesting things, repeating things over and over in your mind, imagining what it feels like to have that success. What else do you do? Because everybody wants your top tips.
So I do a lot. I recently got into that fragrance industry. Remember I told you about the fragrance industry. So I launched my own fragrance, Tropical Storm by Stack.com. And, I smell wonderful. It smells like something out of Saks. You know what I'm saying? So
I wish we had smell-o-vision so that we could smell your essence.
Exactly. So I got my own fragrance, and then I traveled to the wine area too. So I teamed up with somebody in, Chicago, and I have my own wine. It's a sugar Tuscan blend. The best red wine on earth, Vanessa. The best one. I gotta send you some. But I just dive into so many different pots. When you dive into so many pots and you're cooking up on so many pots, something's going to explode. Something's going to cook real soon. So I love to dive into so many different things so that way we can have a lot of different avenues to, expand on, whether it's wine, fragrance, media, billboard. It doesn't matter where we're at. We're going to take over the whole universe if it allows us to. Let's go.
So really, for anybody that's watching that doesn't know the power of being an influencer, of having sort of multi-million followers across sort of lots of platforms, what you're saying is that you can get involved with all sorts of companies promoting their products and very often developing your own products and making money from that. That's fantastic. And, are you real picky about which products you promote? Because I know you're very fussy about what you wear.
Yeah, of course. So it has to resonate with the brand. So I'm not going to represent it or promote it if it doesn't resonate with the brand. Like, for example, if you have my life, the spring where we teamed up with the gold cards, that's something that resonates with me. I want to revitalize myself. I want to feel better. I want my water to be better, my soul, my mind, right? So
what you mean? This gold card here.
That one right there. That's one of my favorite cards.
It over it.
Exactly. So the card right there, that resonates with me. So that's something, for example, that I could, promote and not be fussy with, especially if it's something that resonates with me and it makes the world a better place.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? If you're going to promote products, they have to make the world a better place. And, the reason I'm involved with this wonderful card, which restructures water and the food that you eat, is because that's of tremendous benefit to people. Anyone that's ill really benefits from having restructured water. So I love the fact that you're into future technology, but you're also into all this Bitcoin and all this sort of thing. Tell me about that. I don't understand any of it, Stack. Can you give us the basics?
So I'm on Bitcoin right now. I've been rocking with NFTs in the metaverse forever. So Bitcoin and all this stuff and OpenSea and all this stuff, I've been using it for a while. I was a part of the whole NFT thing when it first came out. I was walking around as an avatar in the metaverse, digital character, digital Stack Pack forever. I know what it is to get the most maximum, the maximum out of, a Bitcoin, a digital coin, your own coin, right? I know what it is to get that full maximum out of that. So now I'm teamed up with another platform called Storm Game. They're in Portugal. I actually have stackincrypto.co that you guys can go check out. Vanessa's over there in UK. It'll work for her, but in US, They're figuring out how to make it available for us more. But it's official crypto trading platform that I teamed up with, and I have my own link to that website to sign people up. So,
Great,
you know,
because I mean the whole crypto
I've been teaching
world.
people how to trade crypto.
Oh,
Like, yeah,
well,
so I know how
that
to
was
do it. And I have, you know, official partners over in Portugal that's teaching me right now how to, you know, do that. So
well,
let's stay consistent.
that's what we all need, because the frequency around crypto is that everyone's terrified of it, because you hear so many stories of sort of people losing their houses over it. And I've stayed away from it for that reason. But you're saying, you know, you can offer the guidance, make sure that people trade effectively and learn how to deal with it, because
Exactly, because I'm going to use it first before anybody else uses it. So I got to be on the platform, using the platform to my capability before I bring anybody else on.
yeah, perfect. And that's the way, isn't it? Personal recommendation. You know, I've made money. Look at what I've done. You know, do what I do, and you should do quite well out of it as well. So, all these things are terribly exciting. Now, tell me about your podcast, because it's terribly successful. Another thing that you're doing that's terribly successful. What's your podcast all about? What
So
sort of people do you have on, apart from
I,
me, of course? I've been on.
man, Vanessa, you was on there. I had an amazing guest like you. You came on there and lit the podcast up. You know what I'm saying? I got a bit individuals like, you know, just my celebrity friends, everybody that's coming by, right? I had a great one. I had people come on the morning show. I had people come on so much stuff, right? There's a lot of different heat that we're releasing with this. I cannot wait to talk about more AI, more tech, more entrepreneur tips, how to get to the bag, how to secure the bag, real estate. There's so much that I talk about. I go all over the place because I have so many friends in different areas. So on the podcast, you don't never know what it's going to be about. It might be a morning show. It might be, you know, a listening party, listening to some of my beats on some of the podcasts. It might be, you know, a session with us, you know what I'm saying? Just talking about sales mastery, you know, with XP. And you never know what's going to happen, right? So it's my episodes, I go with the flow, I go with the heart. So my episodes are never planned. Usually I just wake up. You know what I do, Vanessa? I wake up and I go in. I go in and I go hard, right? I go hard, and then I turn up the whole podcast. I have special guests come on in the morning. They call in. It sounds like they're on the radio. So that's what I do. I do everything from, you know, the podcasting and the marketing, and I bring that to the podcast, or the people that I'm helping out on social media, podcast, marketing. They're coming on there to, you know, give their stories in an entrepreneur format. And some of these people I've already published on magazines before. Like, some of these people are already published on Internet Traffic magazine, like you, Vanessa, right? You're already published on Internet Traffic. Then you come on to the podcast. That's another, you know, edification that I'm going to do for you in an audio style format. So it don't stop, Vanessa. We're just going to keep going and keep going.
People are going to be wondering when you actually get any seats, Stack. But the next thing I want to ask you about is your imminent TV podcast, because that's coming up, isn't it? On E360 TV. You're coming to join us. I'm so excited.
We're doing that real soon, right? So Vanessa spilled the beans. She spilled the beans for you guys. Look, Stack Pack Podcast, right? Listen, the Stack Pack Podcast will be on E360 TV. I'm gonna call it, Vanessa. You know, I might call it Stack Pack's Clubhouse and have all my friends come by. You know what I'm saying? And have everybody come through. So it's going to be, you know, a big experience. Everybody knows what Clubhouse is. Everybody knows me from Clubhouse, and my whole presence is big on there. And the way I hang out with people is like a Clubhouse anyway. So I'm gonna bring it to TV and I'm gonna make it go viral. And then, you know, me and Vanessa is also working on some things with influencers on the background too. So we're doing, you know, stuff with Clubhouse, we're doing stuff with influencers, and we're just going to take this thing to the next level, enough to take it all the way to the rocket ships, all the way to the moon and back, because I'm excited, right? Thank you, Vanessa, for having me on the show. It was fire. Lego.
Oh, bless you, Stack Pack. And just before you go, I wonder if you could just give any budding influencers or media moguls out there 3 top tips that could get them moving in the right direction before I let you go tonight.
All right, you guys want 3 tips. Vanessa said 3 tips for you guys. My 3 tips for you guys is collaboration, right? Collaboration always got me to the next level. When I met Vanessa, we collabed first day. That's what you do. When you meet people, you collab first day. You see how you can be in complementary to their business. Collaboration is key, right? Second one, being honest. I seen myself keeping it real, right? Vanessa being real, being honest always gets me through the door. Doesn't matter if people don't like it, if they don't love it. You'll know in your heart you did a good thing. So I feel like honesty is the best thing you guys can do, is honesty. Third one, loyalty. It's the last one, Vanessa, the loyalty part. Now, if you guys stay loyal to people in business and stay loyal to people around you, you'll find you getting greater opportunities in your business or in your life. So loyalty has always took me a long way. When someone's doing right, or a group, a community is doing right, and I show my loyalty and it's the right thing to do in the world, I've always found myself getting to the next level and gravitating towards towards where I need to go. So, those are my 3, Vanessa. Over to you. Let go.
Oh, well, thank you so much, because they are amazing top tips, and everyone should live their life, never mind their business life, by those. So, Stack, I can't thank you enough for being with us today. Viewers, if you want to find Stack Pack, just literally type in Stack Pack to Google, and let me tell you, this man is everywhere. You can find him on every platform that there is. And if you need your social media sorted out, or you want to really big up your internet presence, then this is the man to get in touch with. So thank you again, Stack Pack, for joining us. Thank you, lovely viewers, for watching us. This has been WTF, What's the Frequency, with Vanessa Ralston. See you next week. Peace and love, everyone.
We out here. Thank you, Vanessa.